Angelica Gani. I'm here for the logo design workshop. I work for Promo Science, that is a sponsor of the Summer School, and I'm here to talk about logos. Why? Because we are currently redesigning our logo. Our old logo is this one. Okay. You can see the correct colors, but it's like yellow, orange, and red. And this is the old one that was created more or less 4 years ago when the company was built. Now we decide to change because it's not so nice, and it's like has an old look. So in the past month we have worked in order to create a new one. Very often people rely on external help to design logos because it's not easy at all. But we try to do something, and actually it's a nice experience, but quite complicated. Last year some trials have been done. This is the study for an iconic version of the logo that contains both the P and the S, because the name is Promo Science. Promo Science, okay, designers. Sit next to no, don't worry. Sit near to your group members, please. To our group members, the same overlap.
Okay, punishments here first. So, soup, then, yeah, no.
No, but it's not fair. We went for tickets.
Tickets what? What's your name?
I don't know.
Okay, you're forgiven just because of her. Okay. Now see, but next time on time. Okay.
You were serious.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, so Promo Science works for promoting scientific research mostly. We work with universities, public bodies, European projects that apply for European grants for research, and research institutions. We both help them to structure their projects, so we offer a project management consultancy, and we care about all the technological and IT stuff. So we create and build and design their website, or we offer them some IT solution for project management to coordinate partners that are usually not in the same country, and so forth. Just to explain you what we do, because as Daria told you, it's important to know what companies that is doing to create a logo. And because I will ask you in this workshop to have some ideas for our logo, because it can be a nice opportunity to work on something real. This is a real company. We need a new logo. Probably you just do some sketch. Don't worry. We don't want you to do the perfect logo, but it could be a very nice exercise. And also because I will show some of the steps of our design process for logo product design. So this is some sketches for the logo we are currently using is this one. That is like more or less 4 years old. Then the first step of redesigning was this, but it's been done last year and it's been abandoned. We are not going to use it. This is what the final result of the icon of the last year. These are some of my notes for the logo type and the icon and everything. It's a mess because you just sketch and you try and you don't have a clear idea, just try if something can work, because also work on paper is important because it's more, it's easier, it's faster than use, for example, Illustrator or other programs. We also sketch on Photoshop or Illustrator because they give you, they have a pro, so they give you a real idea of what it could be when finished, but for sure it's much more slow. These are other examples of try for the icon. This is for the logo type. They are horrible, I know. I'm showing to you because you just write and sketch everything you have in mind, because from an horrible sketch you can get one idea and you can use it in another design, or you could design something and you change it a bit and then another bit, and it can you can create something better. This was one of our version we have tried because we wanted to combine the P and the S. That it's a horrible monogram because it's very difficult. We have tried to find a line how people manage to combine these two letters, but they are horrible and it's quite difficult to do it. Photoshop, they are genius, it's just a P and an S and that's it. Then this here just our sketch. You just try. When you sketch, you just try, and then you say, it's horrible. This one is too many things. That I told you, a logo must be scalable, so it must work even if it's very small. And a logo like this, it could be okay for a very large print, but in small print like business cards or logos on pens or whatever, it won't be very good. And it is also too complicated. Logos don't have to have a lot of details. The simpler it is, the better it is. Then, this is our final logo, more or less. We come up with this solution. This is an icon. I know you don't recognize it, but
Yes.
this a P and this is an S. We know that it's not very readable, but it's just to have an icon, an image, a logo. For example, I found this logos on a logo website. Never mind, but if you see, for example, this one, the first thing you think when you see it is lighting, it's not a W, but after you read the tagline, the logo type, you can, oh yeah, it's a W, this is the same, this thing, okay, it's a piano, oh, it's also an E, and this is an F. So, okay, it's a choice. Many things in design and logo design as well are choices. You don't have one right solution. You can decide. Yes, we decide, okay, let's try. Even if it's not at first glance, you don't recognize the P and the S, okay, let's try. The logo that is on the badge, for example, of EESTEC Summer School, it's not readable, but anyway, is not definitive. It's the first one time it's been used, because even now we are still using the first one, the logo, red and yellow logo. We made some other tries. For example, this one is the same design, but we use our traditional colors, red and yellow. Then we say like, okay, we can try to have some effect. This is 3D, but what comes into your mind when you see this? A ball, yes, a tennis ball. So it's not very, since you are not producing tennis ball or things like that, it's not very good. Okay, this one is another option. Okay, I don't know if you see it, it's like 3D, a little bit 3D, some glowing. But the problem with this logo too is that if you print it, if you have to do it black and white, you won't see these effects. Then, okay, we try. Okay, maybe for make more understandable, this is a P and this is an S. Let's try to use it for the logo type. So promo signs with EMS like this, but it was not very readable, and maybe the logo type is quite important to be readable, because even if someone say, okay, it's just a little sketch, whatever, it's important that you can actually read how the name of the company. So we came up with a very simple one, just black and white. When you design a logo, it's useful to start with black and white because it has to work black and white. Maybe you can do something that is wonderful, but if you turn it black and white, black that it will show you can see it, anything is not nice. Here are just two other versions, like all black, half black, the previous one was all white, and so on. And then we tried also, because sometimes some companies they use some characteristic of the logo to create a pattern to use background or things like that. This is just a try, so it's not definitive, it's just something that we said, okay, let's try what's coming out. Okay, then this is a wheel of colors with a lot of brands. Here you can see the colors used for brands. You see there is a lot of blue, because blue is the color for reliability and business, serious. It's a color that is used a lot in business because it's like classic, serious color. Another very used color is red, because it stands out. If you see a lot of colors, more or less, yes, blue, black. The red is an aggressive color, so you see it very well. We were thinking, what about changing the colors? Because for our logo, we use a kind of yellow, orange color and red. It's a little bit difficult combination of color. So, okay, we can try something new. And my boss said, okay, since the violet is not used a lot, let's try to do something in violet. Because if we do a website we have among the partners, our logo will stand up, pop up. Because a lot of logos are, especially for university and research, are often blue, green, something like this. So we try to change, so use the violet instead of the red, and then all violet, the logo we have used for the summer school. Then we are still working on it, so another thing we thought is like, okay, round circles are very used nowadays because in web design trends, round is a shape that is very used. So we have chosen to try to do, and because it's related to the graphic of a new website, we are doing a lot of round elements. But it's a little bit too plain, too simple. So we try to add something more, and we try like a comic bubble, and we try put it here, to change the color. This is just some examples. It is not, none of these are definitive. So now, if you want, you can do your first logo design, real logo, and I showed you some sketches, some ideas. But if you don't have other ideas, it's okay. You can do whatever you want. If you have some ideas or some question comes to me, personal question, yeah.
Sorry, don't you think that this icon reminds a lot to the icon of Xbox?
Xbox. No, but I'm not a gamer, so no, it's interesting because, for example, even the black and white version,
it makes me think about something like a game.
like a game.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see it, but yes, I'm not a gamer, so I barely knew Xbox actually. But for example, this reminds me of something Japanese. I don't know, like a mask. It must be some cartoons or some traditional mask. I don't know. I wasn't able to find it on Google or something like this, but I know there is something similar.
Yeah, there is.
But
I don't remember the brand, but there is something.
there is something like this.
Yes. Not exactly like this, but
Yeah, if you design, it's very rare you can create something very unique.
Yeah.
For example, you see Korean airlines have same colors and a concept very similar to the Pepsi logo.
yes, yes.
So yes, the important is not to be confused. So to be different, so especially from competitors. And then yes, it depends for your culture, your knowledge, because if you recognize that this is too similar to Xbox, okay, maybe I didn't notice, but other people do. So it's important. It's interesting actually.
No,
Yes,
your
it depends
perception.
on colors because you have seen shown us like lots of different logos. So there are some that doesn't remind anything for me, for example, but there are some that reminds me. Okay.
Yeah.
Depends of what it will be the total, the last one. What you will choose. It depends on what colors you will choose.
Yeah. Yes, this is still an open choice because yes, we use violet, but I don't know, it's maybe too quiet. Maybe it's not very visible, so maybe we will change it. But you can decide. Now you are the designer, so design, create. You can choose whatever color you want. You can take inspiration from what you have seen. You have other ideas to try. You are in groups, so you can talk. We can try. I suggest you to even try to sketch something on a different paper before maybe try on Illustrator because it's faster. And now you have time and good work. If you have any question, I'm here.
Yeah, so split up in the groups where that you are in the labs, so in the afternoon class. Okay, and try to do something together, like brainstorm. Try maybe something on paper before, some sketches, and we will give you some feedbacks. I work for Pro Science too, so.
Oh, that's what you work for.
Yeah, we are working from.
Yeah, well, I actually also thought that it looks like
And if you want to come
you
here,
really no one
the
saw it
slides
from
to
the
have a look,
behind
you
you.
can.
What?
No one showed.